Previously on AFTN.
Canada was in the Toulon tournament.
Yeah. Was.
Hey.
Oh, I hadn't heard the results today.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the results. So this week,
I thought they advanced.
They qualified.
I'll let you know what happened.
Okay.
I've been so busy today.
What happened was they are in.
This is too long already.
I know. So if you guys let me talk, then we'll get this through this.
Too long.
So there's. I get that now.
Well, hello again, and welcome to another episode of There's Still Time, the AFTN Soccer Show, broadcasting from CITR Radio Studios at the beautiful University of British Columbia on the unceded Musqueam Territory. If you're listening to this show in the podcast, this is episode 275. I'm Michael McCall.
I'm Steve Pander.
And I'm Zachary Adam Eisenheimer.
And I can't believe it. Vancouver Whitecaps are Stanley Cup champions, I believe.
Wait, what?
I just saw the Caps won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, gotcha.
Absolutely tremendous. If I'd known they played hockey as well, I'd have taken a bigger interest in it. But, I mean, I'm stoked for them. It's that after the Voyageurs Cup, I think that's their second most important trophy that was won. I wanted Robbo out. Shocked.
I am tired, and therefore I think I'm more susceptible to laughing at your humor.
Oh, well,
that was
the other big news,
that was good.
Which I just found out before I left, because I was following it live this morning, then forgot all about it, and then checked before I left. Scotland beat England, not in the Toulon tournament, sadly. They lost that one 3-1 or 4-1. I think it would have been
3-1. It was 3-1 in the
3-1?
semis, yeah.
It felt like 4-1 by the end. They led 1-0, but they beat England at cricket.
Oh, that's not bad.
One day international.
Isn't that a pretty much of a surprise?
Yeah, they set their highest ever, I think 371.
Oh, that's a good run total.
Beat England by 6 runs.
Congratulations.
Lost the darts World Cup final to Holland.
Oh, those Dutch, though.
Yeah.
They got to win something.
No one likes the Dutch. I'm glad they're not in the World Cup.
Are you talking about the restaurant place, the Dutch? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, I like the pancakes.
Oh,
actually,
the panacook?
yeah, that's okay.
That's good. I was worried.
Yeah, but that's our waffling over. We've got a lot of football chat ahead of you now. We're going to talk Whitecaps against Orlando. We're going to just talk Whitecaps in general. MLS, some Canadian PL stuff. Have to say straight off the bat, though, that our surprise guest that we teased last week bailed on us. I blame Zach for that.
I'm just hoping you guys can remain friends.
I hope we can as well. But we will have our surprise guest later. He just is not able to make it this week.
Like your shirt says, Michael.
Yes, there's still time.
There's still time,
as the name of the show is. But we also have some interviews with you this week. We're going to speak to Stefan Marinovic, find out how his recovery is going and why he brings a stuffed dog places with him. We're going to speak to Simon Colyn as well, whose name I learned is now Colyn and not Colin. And we're also going to speak to Marco Carducci, which Steve had a chat with him as well. But we'll kick things off as always with Whitecaps match in review. What's the time in Orlando just now?
I think it's 5 past.
Yeah, 5
past 2.
Bendick.
5 past Bendick, right.
Bend it like Bendick.
TFC reject.
Yes.
Luis Cesar's waterboy. Well, not Luis.
Yes.
Was it Luis Cesar?
I don't know.
Brazil,
yes.
the Brazil keeper.
Yeah, he only signed to get himself in the World Cup or something.
And then Bendick had to carry his water around.
But yeah, fantastic result in some ways, not some fantastic in other ways. Just quick thoughts on this one off the bat. It was entertaining. It was a win. They're unbeaten in 6.
And they finished.
But yeah, unbeaten in 6 going into the World Cup break.
Now
five goals.
A legitimate unbeaten streak.
Yes, because they've got some wins in there.
Yeah, there's some wins in there.
Gave 2 bad ones up. We really should have had more, actually, as well. General feelings and just our usual marks out of 10 for this one.
It was Julius Caesar. Someone just tweeted at us.
Fact checker. Yeah. Someone's tweeted us already.
Yeah. Julio Cesar.
Julius.
Did he tweet us himself?
Caesar salad.
He gets on well with Romain.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I if you go out of 10, and I am gonna mark him down because of those 2 goals against. And we'll talk about that later. I'm gonna give it a similar score to last week, and that's an 8.
Yeah, I was an 8 as well.
Oh, I thought I was going to say like 8.5 to 9. I thought you guys were going to be like 9.5, 10.
No, because it's just those 2 goals were just
sloppy.
So sloppy.
And
yeah.
you're giving goals up against 10 men as well.
Good,
and
okay.
Yeah,
no,
we'll come to all that.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of those games where it's hard not to be super excited because of the number of goals, because of there was actual finishing, calls went your way, all these kinds of things. But there are a number of things that should still be concerning, right? You have Orlando traveling across the country, having a player sent off.
They did come on a charter,
scored. Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you.
Yes, they did.
Oh,
I'll tell you a little bit more about that later.
Oh, I look forward to that. So is it still flying across the continent or whatever, or most of the continent, and then giving up? The thing that's the kicker is giving up 2 goals when you're up, up a man, especially that first one was just like really disappointing.
I mean, we've seen Whitecaps teams in the past though. Once they do give up a goal to 10 men, their head goes down. So I do want to focus more on the positives, at least for part of it. Part 2 will probably look more at the negatives.
Well, let's talk about right off the bat. They're lucky they weren't down early.
Oh yeah, so here's a big positive.
Brian Rowe made a couple of big saves. The first one off Will Johnson.
Canada's Will Johnson.
Yeah, and then Chris Mueller. The second one, which was more of a tighter angle, but that would have gone in if Rowe didn't get his hand to that one either. And I called him unathletic last week, and I think like more unathletic than Marinovic was, and I think he did show some athleticism, especially the first
definitely Rowe's best game as a Whitecap
for sure. Yeah,
and
because he had a chance to make a save
of the week for that one off Will Johnson. Because I mean that was fantastic. That was really good, but. What I do want to say about that chance that Johnson had, where was the marking?
Yeah, that was another.
He was in acres of room. The ball just came through to him. There's no one anywhere near him.
Orlando really
Probably a 10-yard radius. There was no one.
Orlando really overloaded that box, and that I think Will Johnson found some space because that ball kind of the same way that the ball came from the opposite side, and there were a lot of Whitecap players just trying to get to it, but couldn't, and it just slipped right to the other side. And
Will Johnson never scores at BC plays, especially from edge of boxes and stuff.
You just got to bring that up every time for Zach.
Yeah. It hurts me as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, it was inside. The last one that was heartbreaking was inside the box.
Was it? I thought it was just outside. I can't remember. I have kind of blocked it out, but I did think it was just outside.
I was standing behind the players' bench, so my depth perception on it was not the greatest.
Whitecaps did take the lead.
Yeah.
9 minutes before half-time. What a run from Alphonso Davies. And we'll gush about Davies in part 2.
But first, the tackle from Felipe, who set up the run, basically.
It was Juarez with the great tackle last week that set up a goal. Felipe this time. I mean, Davies was electric in that run. In the first half, actually, he really gave a torrid time to the Orlando defenders. Will Johnson hacked him down before he was off injured. Then in the second half, Allen had his hands full with him as well. They basically had no answer for him. That the highlights just keep kind of showing the end of the run, which doesn't really do it justice. Yeah. But I mean, it was a great run by Davies. Coolly finished by Kamara. Great to finally see Kamara getting back on the score sheet after a bit of a dodgy run.
And the thing is, Davies, he made the run from before the half line. He picked up the ball there, got past the first defender with speed, and then I think Will Johnson was giving him the inside because he didn't want him to get to the byline, but I don't think it helped because he was able to almost stop on. It felt like he stopped on a dime and was able to find Kamara. Well, he did it in full motion. I can't remember exactly.
It was like almost like a step over-ish type thing that was kind of awkward, but then it didn't matter because his layoff was good and the finish was
perfect.
Precision.
Yeah.
Sasha Kleshton nearly brought them back just before half-time, but, I mean, Rose stood tall, kind of did everything he did to put him off.
Yeah.
Second half, Caps came out. They looked strong. There was a couple of chances.
Kamara hit the side netting.
Yeah, Fonzie had the one which Bendit kind of saved.
Teixeira saved it initially and put it out, but Davies showed right there again. No, anybody else?
A flash.
And anybody else wouldn't have got to that ball. Davies was able to, but still shot it wide.
Blasted it over.
Yeah.
And then turning point, you could say. I mean, Rose save you could class as the turning point. But, I mean, the big turning point, really, if there's a red card, it's a turning point. 58th minute. And right away, Steve said to me, that's bad for us.
And what did you say to him?
I was like, yeah, probably. And 6 minutes later, the pessimistic pair were proved correct.
What I said was, why is Orlando wasting their time arguing over this when they know they should know that the Whitecaps don't play that well?
But yeah,
because they were just wouldn't get on with the game.
It was a stupid tackle to do in a yellow card.
Well,
and knowing how the referee was dishing out the cards in that first half.
And you think it was Alphonso Davies would get that? We were talking about whoever gets Alphonso Davies is going to get that second yellow, but it was Jake Nowitzki.
RJ Allen should have been sent off before that for me because he had two in the space of 3-4 minutes. Yeah. And the second one,
the referee gave him
his
a
last warning, and he was a lucky lad. And I think because of that probably then cost him the red a few minutes later.
Because to me, it wasn't a horrendous
It wasn't, but it was a bookable offence.
Yes.
And if he hadn't been booked, you'd right away say he deserves a yellow card. So just because he's on a yellow, to me, that just shouldn't matter a jot.
Yeah, it was foolish. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, talking of foolish, we let Orlando back into it.
Yeah.
Now, that seems to be the case. I don't know if I'm just watching these games with blue and white tinted glasses on, but Jason Kreis thought Orlando were like the best team in the first half and again dominated play and took the game to Vancouver.
Jason's a very confident fellow.
I don't think it was... I can't say it was dominating. I would say that they had their chances, but I definitely don't say dominating.
We'll play a bit of Jason Kreis later, and he was very strange afterwards, but we'll come to that. But yeah,
they're on a long losing streak too, apparently.
Yeah, Sasha Kleshton though did what Sasha Kleshton does. Why you've spent money bringing a guy in to do things. Put away, nice little celebration, looking straight at the camera. I like when
good timing.
Do that.
He opened up his foot right and just kind of let it kind of go off.
Redirected it. Yeah. But it didn't take too long for the Whitecaps to get back. 12 minutes about, and they had some chances before that, but. A controversial play.
Yeah, one of many over the afternoon.
It's something that we didn't realize that there was a rule change because there was no BC Soccer headlines probably back then, and we didn't know that. So this is it ended up Jordan Much took a shot from just outside the box, set up by Teixeira or by somebody. He took the shot. It was stopped by the keeper. Alphonso Davies right there to put it in. We thought it was offside. And we saw I think it was Coleman who was on outside. Yeah. He was outside. We thought because he was off the pitch,
him and
that it would
he
be
also
offside.
had kicked Nowinski in the face, which didn't seem to get reviewed either.
So it was right in front of us in 203, 204, and right away we were just like, no. And we remembered the Euro whatever when there was big kerfuffle over this.
Yes, with Holland.
Yeah,
that was when everything. Yeah,
and it was like right away as soon as the goal happened, as soon as they were looking. Massimo was like, no, remember the Euro? He's legit. We saw him. He was off the field, but he still counts as being in play.
Now, maybe you guys would know this. I was going to ask you yesterday, but I forgot to. If he was injured, say he was injured and completely out, like Nowitzki was like,
only way that would work is if it wouldn't count it in terms of the offside is if he'd been given permission to go. Yeah. Because one of the rules are as a player. And I found out this the hard way once, not as a player but as a coach, you can't leave the field of play without the referee's permission.
Will Johnson did.
Talked about
Johnson
did that in the first half.
Today, yesterday.
So, because I was coaching a men's team once, helping out some friends, and a guy came and changed his boots because of the surface or the rain or whatever, and the ref came over all angry and gave him a yellow card, and I was just like, wait, what? And then someone was like, yeah, you can't do that. And I was like,
yeah, because I'll be honest, I either forgot about it or just didn't know that the rule had changed. But I was speaking to a guy that's there. He's an assessor for MLS, on referees and coaches. He kind of monitors it all.
What a great job.
Yeah. And he explained to me.
Lots of work to do.
Yeah, he had a lot of work to do yesterday, he was telling me. So he explained to me that if a player's off the pitch, it counts that he's on the goal line.
Yeah.
So thus Fonzie was onside.
Yep.
So basically, that goal counted. They got ahead 2-1.
And
Then-
I'm also not sure if Orlando knew that as well, because
No, I don't think they
seemed
did.
very adamant that it wasn't.
And then then obviously minutes later
Yeah,
they got a
couple of
third
minutes later,
goal.
VAR's called
VAR
into
came
action
again.
again.
Yeah. Reyna gets taken down this time.
On first look, I thought it wasn't a penalty.
I thought it wasn't either.
We
but
thought it was a clean
If
tackle.
you
as well.
look at
Yeah.
one of the penalties, I think it was Tom from my two photographers. He's got a perfect shot
angle,
of the tackle, and you see he takes him out.
So yeah, guys next to me again. Massimo was like, "No, dude, it was dead on a penalty." And then I saw the big screen. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah, my
Yeah,
first thing
yeah.
was as well, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest, Reyna did go down fairly easily in the first half of one
yeah.
of the tackles.
That would never happen.
No.
I personally think he was
what-
just. I don't think he was diving. I think
No.
he was just avoiding
But I think
getting clipped.
what might save him from an embellishment fine is he pointed to the corner flag, so he didn't appeal for
a penalty, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Reyna brought down. Kamara steps up after a VAR review that took about 2 minutes. Kamara, training on Friday, they were doing
You're
penalties.
gonna bring this up?
Yeah.
What was the time between the goals? I can't remember now.
There was 76th minute was the
Yeah, and there was 84 that Kamara actually
Right.
scored
Scored,
home.
so, yeah.
And then I think 87.
Right. So what happened in our section was, now there were some people who initially did not want to go along with this, but after the goal, because we like to sing. There's usually certain songs we sing after goals, and usually there's one, but we decided, let's not sing the one. Let's do a couple other kind of celebratory kind of songs. So we started to sing. We started to sing. The song. And here's to you, Carl Robinson. Always knew we'd score another goal. And like while we were singing it, they scored the fourth. So the people who weren't too happy were kind of like, okay, that was fine.
What I was going to say about Reyna, they had a penalty thing as they do at the end of a lot of training.
Kamara.
And Stuart Kerr's son saved 3 penalties in a row. Fantastic saves as well that he pulled off.
Wait, how old is his son?
20, 21.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, he's not like a 4-year-old. That would be very
I
embarrassing
thought
for
he
the
was
guys.
like Milo's age or something.
But Kai Kamara was one of the 3 saves, and he stepped him. It's like, I don't miss these, and he missed it. So I was a little bit worried when he was taking this penalty.
But he
and
took it smoothly.
After the
This
last one,
yeah.
which he just about got in as well in Columbus.
It was good that Julio Cesar's former water bottle carrier went the other way.
But yeah, it was great. 3-1 then.
And then Alfonso
4-1
Davies really took over in
moments
the
later.
next two goals.
Yeah.
Basically, it was his runs. First one was on the left side. Crossed it over. Reyna tap in. Very simple goal for him.
Lovely.
And Reyna pointed at
Lovely.
Davies right after the goal was scored.
Oh, it was the first one.
No,
And
he
Kamara
pointed
scored.
he
Oh,
pointed
did he
at him
do it
again. Yeah.
Ah.
And then Nico scores his first goal of the year. And again, this time it was Davies coming down the middle.
Yeah. in
He
the
had
middle.
Kamara
Yeah.
on the left, Nico on the right.
Yeah, because I was saying to Steve, as soon as he played it to Nico, I was like, oh, Kai's not going to like that. He's on for a hat trick.
Yeah, and so
Then
then
he scored, so that's
Nico
okay.
scored. Yeah, Nico scored. He got it through the legs of the defender,
again,
through the hand of the keeper.
Julio Cesar's understudy should have done better with
Yeah.
that
He
one.
certainly should have. Nico, whenever he gets a goal, he just looks so happy.
Yeah.
It's lovely
And
to see.
you had to you could tell though, he's just like, okay, it's 5-1. I better not celebrate this too big. He just stood there and kind of
Didn't
put
he
his
score
arms
the
up.
5th goal in the San Jose game too?
I think so, yeah.
I think he did.
Yeah.
He scored 4th and 5th in the space of a couple of minutes, yeah. But the good vibe,
And did
the guy that we don't want to do well,
Popcorn boy.
Judas's
you said?
husband.
But Dwyer, I think somebody was saying. Was it you that says all we want is now Dwyer to get sent off
Yeah, I
with a
said
red,
that.
and then he ended up scoring.
Yeah, so
Right,
that was just
seconds
complete
later.
it.
That was very disappointing.
Yeah. And Robbo was certainly not happy after that.
Yeah, that's the first thing he brought up in the post game.
Yeah, we'll hear from Robbo in part 2. Just before we wrap this segment up, though, it's like, it was great to score 5. We can't keep giving 2 goals up
No.
in games. I guess if we score 3, 4, 5, does it matter? Goal difference at the end of the season could come into things.
Has
but
MLS told everyone what the tiebreakers are yet this year?
I don't know. They usually get that in July. Or
It'll
August,
change
don't
in
they?
July depending on where we are.
It was cheap again, losing those 2 goals. Robbo wasn't happy, as we said. We'll hear about that. Did it taint the performance for you?
I like I said at the beginning, if not for that especially the second goal. The first goal I can understand. You sometimes you get a little lazy going against 10 men, but that second goal when you just completely like disappeared and you just let him walk through, that was more disappointing for me.
It'll be good to hear. It'll be good to hear the Carl talking about this, but it both have to be concerning. You can't be giving away goals to to 10 men.
No. Well,
like they have.
That's the really disappointing thing. Well, the two disappointing things: cheap goals. Because he said it was lazy, and it was lazy defending, and that's what just drives you nuts as a coach and as a supporter as well. But again, you're playing against 10 men, and the 10 men look better and look like the team that has the man advantage.
And it
was a poor Orlando team.
But to be fair, it did. The one thing it did do, it played into Vancouver's hands, because they could allow Orlando come at them and knew that they had the pace of Davies to counter.
Yeah, Robo wanted that. That was his game plan, and it didn't happen early on. So then it did happen, and you saw the end results. And there were some great individual performances. We'll talk about them in part 2 and hear from both coaches as well. And we'll be back with that after this.
Hi, I'm Carl Robinson. You're listening to the AFTN podcast.
And I tell you what, the Whitecaps certainly took 5. High-fiving, 5 of the best. Bunch of 5s handed to Orlando. Whatever 5 analogy you want to use.
5-time. Remember Booker T? He would do that, remember? 5-time champion.
That was the Justified Ancients of Moo Moo there, one of Scotland's best rap acts, from their Shag Time album.
Wasn't that a song?
Yeah, it was. It's sampled.
Okay.
Yeah, I cut out the actual rapping bit.
Okay, gotcha.
I just wanted the bit about 5. Also from the 1987 album, 1987, What the F Is Going On? Which I own.
What, the football's going?
Yeah. I own that, and it was deleted after the first week because they'd sampled all these songs and they weren't allowed to. So it's worth a bit of money.
The game.
Back to the game. You are listening as well to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio, broadcasting from the University of British Columbia at the unceded Musqueam territory. So we talked in the first half there that, Robbo wasn't very happy about some stuff. Jason Kreis was not very happy as well. After the match...
But they were so dominant in the first half.
After he did his talk, he was standing, just staring. He was like a statue. It was bizarre. He was like in a trance. It looks like the pressure may be getting to him. They did take a charter from Orlando to here, and then they're taking the same charter to Montreal because ridiculously they play on Wednesday. The World Cup break has not started for some teams yet. I also don't think, like from the Whitecaps' point of view, if you have one game off, it's a bye week. It's not a World Cup break. That's semantics, but it's not a World Cup break. It's one game.
Well, to be fair, the one thing is the World Cup won't have started when that game is on.
No. Yes, I guess technically, yeah.
And like you said, you're saying that he's feeling the pressure. I just checked. They're losers of 5 in a row.
Yep, they'd won 6.
They took 5.
Yeah, they won 6 in a row, and then they went 5 in a row. So they took 5 as well. But let's hear now from Jason Kreis and Robbo.
Start wearing purple, wearing purple. Start wearing purple for me now.
For you, it looked like there was a surge right after Don Dwyer had come in. What happened to kind of fizzle that out?
Probably the ejection against us or the penalty kick decision against us. I think those were difficult to deal with. The second goal against us, I think, was extremely difficult to deal with again. For me at the moment, you can't play 90% well. And I've been saying now for 5 games in a row, we're playing 90% well. The problem with that thinking is that it tends to make you forget about the 10%. And for me, that's the difference right now. Because I think, again, another night where we start off the game and we're just dictating things. We're bossing things on their field. And then we give the ball away one time in the middle of midfield. We're disorganized with where our players are. They go right down the field and score the very first chance that they have. And for me, that's just, it's too many times. It's too many times that we're making critical mistakes at critical moments. It's too many times that critical decisions are going against us at critical moments. And so maybe that's what we need to be focused on right now, is that 10%. We need players to step forward. We need players to decide that enough is enough.
Do you address certain players to do that, to step up?
I think that we're going to have to talk to some individual players about the performances that we're seeing. We're going to have to expect more. We're going to have to demand more. Because, again, it's not to say that everything's bad, because it's not. A lot of positive things. But at the end of the day, we need that extra 10%.
And for a game like tonight, too, how much can you just credit at least Vancouver in their game outside of the calls?
I think Vancouver did exactly what they do, and they did it well. They transitioned really well. They transitioned when we lost that ball in the midfield in the first half. They got right at us. 2 passes later, it's in the back of our net. And I think you saw it when we're down a man and down goals. They transitioned really well to then blow us out of the water.
And with there being as many bookings as there were tonight, how do you address that amongst the group? Or do you feel like you need to?
For me, there was a great imbalance tonight about what was a caution and what was not a caution. And you saw by looking at the statistics that the cautions unfortunately kept on going to the purple shirts. And for me, I'll say this, I've said it many times, I have to say it again now, because it's too many games in a row. But for me, this team and this club get absolutely zero respect from referees. None. We go to a place like this, every critical decision went Vancouver's way. Fine, it's their home field. But when are we going to see the same thing in Orlando?
Why is that the case?
I don't know. I have no answers for you. This is a moment where I get to be like a lot of other people in the world and just ask questions and point out negativities and walk away.
A very good performance. From the first minute, I thought we set out our tone. We knew the tactical game plan. We knew that they're a good possession-orientated team. We knew that where they were weak and vulnerable. But we had to be patient and wait for our chances to come along. And there's 2 periods in the game where, everyone will see the score 5-2 and go away with smiles. There's 2 periods that really irk me. And the first one is when they go down to 10 men. We concede a goal. We just got a little bit lazy in our decision-making. Our movement wasn't good enough, our passing wasn't sharp enough, and we concede the goal. And we make a game that is very comfortable, interesting. And the second one is we're 5-1 up. You give away, you mess about with the ball in the box. You don't do that. You respect the game, you respect football. 5-1 is the result it should be. Unfortunately, it's 5-2. So that's why I've got a face like thunder.
Carl, big night for Alphonso Davies, a goal and 3 assists. Just talk to us about his performance this evening.
Terrific. I've challenged him a couple of times to start games better because I think that he is a little bit slow, being with his reactions and his decision making and things like that in the early parts of games. And as especially when the second half kicks on after maybe 55 to 60 minutes, he kicks on, he gets his second win. But he needs to do that from the first minute to the 94th minute. And I think he'd done that today, and full credit to him because he got his reward. Obviously, a goal. He missed an easier chance actually when the keeper made a save by putting it over, and he set up 3 good goals, but there were still areas where I think he could have got about 7 or 8 assists tonight. So still areas to work on. Very good performance from him, but pleased.
With a game like that, how long will you be able to hold on to him?
Yeah, it's a really good question, but I talk all the time, and I think you get annoyed with me because I try and protect him a little bit. I know that there's vultures out there, good and bad. And I'm just trying to let him develop at his rate. I think you've seen since I played him 2 years ago when he was 15 years of age to where he is now, his body's changing, his mindset's changing, and it's important we take time with him. But when he performs like that, there's no hiding him. He'll be on all over the TVs and all over the newspapers. But while he's here, he'll continue to work hard and he'll continue to get better.
The 4 attackers you have up front, how good is their chemistry right now at this point? And how is this the most dangerous 4 you have had at the Whitecaps?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're in good form at the moment. I got asked, I think, last week, does the break come at a good time? It probably doesn't, no, because the boys are playing with loads and loads of confidence. And, we scored 5 goals and everyone's happy. We could have scored a lot more goals than that. So they're playing with a freedom. within the team structure, within the team tactical game plan, as people talk about. But it's about players. I talk all the time. You know, coaches throughout the league are pretty good, and they set up their game plans and that lot. But it's about your players, and it's making your players happy. It's making them comfortable, but it's not letting them off the hook as well. And since we've had a little tweak in our formation, I've made it clearer for them on the defensive side of the game, and it's actually allowed them to be more dangerous in attacking areas, and you see that again today.
He's the gaffer. You can try it on with him. He's the gaffer. Even when he's on a limb. He's the gaffer. When his back's against the wall, has the answer to it all. He's the gaffer.
The gaffer's there. Jason Kreis certainly not happy. As you heard, they get no respect from referees. None at all. And he doesn't know why. I mean, why?
Maybe the referee was from Austin.
There's another Kreis question that I really wanted to keep in, but I couldn't because you can't make out his answer because those stupid cannons that they've got behind the goal that they always let off after the game. I don't think they're stupid during the game.
They're fart cannons, basically.
Yeah, I like them during the game. But they let them off right during his answer, which the question, one of the guys who travelled from Orlando was said, have you got to the stage now where you might need to change your attack? Justin Merrim in particular, he's not doing what you brought him here to do. And Kreis was just like, do not ask me about individual players.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard him do that before.
End of the interview.
Yeah, I think.
But you couldn't make it out because it went as he gave his answer.
Yeah.
Very disappointing.
You like those during the game?
I quite like them, yeah. I like pyrotechnics and things.
It's not really pyrotechnics, it's just the gas.
Maybe we could literally ship those ones to East 5.
Oh, well, we don't score much, so we've just lost our striker to our big rivals as well. So, but yeah, we'll talk about some of the players' performances. Robbo not happy there. Got a tweet during that from Sailors C, Chris Corrigan, who said he's glad to hear that Robbo wasn't happy because you don't want. It's easy for a coach to come out after a 5-2 win and be all pleased and stuff. So I'd like hearing Robbo.
Look, I was going to ask. That was going to be my question eventually. I was going to start off with that because I figured that would like irk him if we, talked about giving up 2 goals after scoring 5. But he brought it up on his own actually without really much prompt.
Well, quick chat about the defence. Centre backs. Henry had a cracking tackle in the first half.
First half of that was kind of led to the question chance too. That
wide
because
it was crunching. I enjoyed that. That was good. That was good. Him and Aha, I thought had a good understanding again.
Yeah, I don't think they were to blame for those goals because those goals were both kind of coming from the wide areas.
The one Jake had tucked in, and so the flank was wide open for the cross.
Well, one of the questions we had is when Kendall comes back from the World Cup, if Kendall comes back from the World Cup. And there's all the rumours we may be signing an El Salvadorian centre-back as well, Dominguez, 21-year-old.
Roberto Dominguez.
And no relation to Diego Rodriguez?
I don't think so, because they're from different countries. They're very close together, though. But
Thunder Bay, close to Thunder Bay.
As close as that.
Is that as close?
So we did ask, who should be Kendall's partner when he returns? Should it be Aha?
Yeah.
Should it be Henry?
And
should it be someone new?
I phrased it when Waston returns. I didn't say if. I didn't want to scare people. Well, we said Daniel Henry, Jose Aha, someone new. It was pretty decisive. Just under 75% said Daniel Henry.
Really?
Yes.
I voted for Aha.
Again,
maybe not a big surprise there.
23% said Aha, and then a couple, 2.5% said someone new.
And no one said Armand.
Well, we didn't put that.
We didn't put that as an option.
He was in the 18.
But if he's here beyond the end of July, I'll be amazed.
I still think he could stick around.
I tell you
He'll
what,
be a good fourth centre back.
We've said before, I don't think Aaron Mon did anything wrong, and it would be easy for his head to go down and to look really miserable at training. He always has a smile on his face, and I like to see that from a player. It's like he's working hard at training. I like the guy. I'd like to see him get another chance. There is a chance there could be a sending off. Who knows? He might come into it, but we'll see. The better Costa Rica do, the more chance we might have to rely on Aaron Mon getting a game anyway.
So, Steve, who would you prefer?
Out of the two, I would. The thing is, Daniel Henry and Kendall Waston are very similar players, it seems like to me, with the physicality and everything.
Yeah.
So it might be better as a Jose Aha to kind of complement each other. But I do like the way Daniel Henry looks at this point.
Jose has balls, I think, are better.
Yeah, possibly going forward.
Great delivery.
I would probably go with Danielle. I think that they are different, actually.
Oh, you think? Yeah, well, I'm thinking Danielle's more similar to Kendall than Jose is. Obviously, that's what I meant by that.
No, I think Jose is more similar to Kendall personally, but I could be wrong.
No,
the one thing I like is I think Kendall is quick. Over the longer, like if you can get going,
once he gets going, he's like a freight train, basically.
But I think Danielle is quick, like always pretty quick, and so I would probably prefer Danielle's pace next to Kendall's as opposed to Jose Ajas.
So positive marks for the center backs. What about the full backs? I think that's kind of mixed reviews at this point.
Jake had a great game,
but a better game than previous games.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but there was a couple of times.
Yeah, he got them to 10 men with that one run.
Shea, again, had some good moments, had some bad moments. First half, which I'm obsessed with, I know, and Steve's probably fed up with me pointing this out in the press box every game. Marcel de Jong gave up a lot of space as left back. Brek Shea was giving up even more space, and he was not closing down as quickly as Marcel did. And he was lucky on a couple of occasions that Orlando did not punish him. You cannot give up the amount of space. He was getting so sucked into the middle.
Well, De Jong's not fit, right?
No, but he was back at training this week.
But he wasn't 18.
No, so he should soon.
Yeah, I would. This squad, I would definitely choose Marcel de Jong as the left back. However, if you're going to play Alphonso Davies and Brek Shea together on the left side, this is the much better way.
Oh, yes.
Which we've said from the beginning of the year.
Someone
Angus Walker.
I got the tweet right here. Angus Walker at Angus Walker said, "Didn't I say on your show last month that Davies and Shea should start every game on the left? How did we do in the last two games? Allows Franzi to drift back, forward, and even swap left-right with Teixeira. Totally confuses the opposition. He can run them ragged."
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
I totally agree with that.
But I still think that Marcel de Jong is a very capable left back, and I think he would be. I would trust him more than Brek Shea at left back.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. The other tweet I saw said it's very brave of the Whitecaps to go with a DP left back.
Yeah. Why is Brek Shea in Vancouver again?
Because he loves it here. He loves the fish.
Yeah, that's
midfield quickly. Felipe. Good again.
Very solid.
Yeah.
Gazal played better than I thought he was, because you said he wasn't practicing that much.
I didn't see Gazal on the training pitch on Friday because Juarez was meant to be in the starting lineup, but then obviously the little
became
baba.
a dad again.
Yeah. But a Canadian international.
I was partially joking about Brek Shea. You understand?
Oh, yes, I know.
Obviously, there's a lot going on there, but what is that? What are you doing?
I told you I was twisting my elbow. I hurt my elbow really bad. I said to ignore it if I'm ever doing this.
I didn't know if that was a time thing.
No.
Oh, I thought we were doing something.
Karate Kid?
Yeah. No, my elbow's messed up right now.
Sorry. No, like Brek Shea has made contributions this year, so I'm not trying to slag him in that way. I do wonder why. I do wonder why his option was taken.
Yeah, I do quite like him at left back though. I know he might not think that that's his favourite position, but I've liked what he's brought.
With Marcel de Jong out and Alphonso Davies in front of him, sure.
Yeah. The front guys. Now, obviously, everyone's going to be talking about Alphonso Davies.
Yeah.
It's hard not to. He was outstanding, but he could and should have had more.
Yeah.
And I know that it's like he's got a goal and 3 assists, and you're like, what? Come on. But
no.
Some of the decisions he made, some of the balls he played, some of the shots he had, that's what he needs to improve on.
You heard Robbo talk about it there.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is what the coaching staff is doing, saying, hey, good job, but let's talk about the areas where you can still improve. Because when you have some of the abilities that he has, you can just rely on those only and not improve other areas of your game, and then you become less effective or less dynamic. And that's what I'm worried about him after a game like this, where he uses his pace to expose the weakness of Orlando's right side, which I think he got the better of Will Johnson to begin with, and then totally had the better of RJ Allen when they were playing with 10 men. And so
I was concerned by the post-game comments as well, where he said he knows he starts slow.
Well, no, that was basically because Robbo mentioned it. And then
did someone ask him?
Somebody, I told him that the gaffer said that you start slow, and so obviously he's probably not going to disagree with Robinson at that point.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing with him, and I know you guys are harping on the fact that decision making. Remember, I know this is mentioned quite a bit. He is 17 years old, And this will come with experience. Like, Michael's got a big shocked look on his face. But this will come with experience where he'll be able to make those runs and not even have to think about it because of what he's done in the past. He'll just make the right move. And I think he's capable of learning that and getting ingrained in his head where he doesn't even – it's a split-second decision he's done.
I agree with you, Steve.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And everything I just said is in no way meant to take away anything from his performance.
That's what I was trying to get across as well.
Just like if he keeps playing –
He was outstanding.
Oh, yeah. If he keeps playing in
MLS. That's why I wanted to mention that because I don't want people to think that you guys are harping on him. Because
but it's just – that's what he can do.
He's capable of so much more.
Can you think of what he could be if he can just hone these little aspects of his game?
If he can continue to improve his crossing.
Consistency as well.
Yeah, continue to improve his crossing and be more consistent with it. And continue, as you said, Steve, to improve his decision making, which comes with age.
I think the crossing on the deck, he's fine now. Yeah. I think he's really done well on laying the ball off. Like you said, especially on the first goal. It's in the air, the cross in the air, the early cross. He needs to just work on that a bit. And I think that, like I said, that'll come with time. And if he develops his right foot a little bit, then he's really dangerous. If he gets that to 60% even or something like that.
If he can cut in on his right foot every so often from the left, he'd be very dangerous. But that's the thing, though. You have to be not worried, but maybe concerned that when you do so well, especially as a young player, that you can get so caught up in, hey, I did well. I know I do well. I'll just keep doing those couple things and neglect where you can continue to grow. And I'm not saying I think he'll do that. I'm just saying I hope he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And I hope the coaching staff continues to encourage him the way it seems like they have this season.
Another guy that's on a hot streak, Jordi Reyna.
Yes.
In the last 5 games.
3 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, 5 games.
Yeah.
Dirty goals.
Yeah. And like the front four that we have just now, Steve and we were talking about that, and it was the question asked after the game, as you heard as well from Steve. It's electric. And when they're firing on all cylinders, Kamara, Teixeira, Reyna, Davies, they're a match, I feel, for any defence in this league. They are a serious threat when they're in form. And right now, they've hit a bit of a stride.
Right. The thing is, though, they need to start doing that against some of the more top kind of teams.
And they need the consistency.
Because
we've talked before, it's no good if one of them does it and then the rest don't.
Right.
And how long can you keep them all doing it at that level?
They need to have 3 of the 4 at least running in the game in order for it to be working.
Because you look at how they performed in this game, and you think had that happened in some of those home draws against teams that were not great, that's what you really needed that. So now they're going to have to play exceptionally well against some of the more difficult sides, both at home and on the road.
But we'll get to the player rankings now. I mean, I think for everyone, apart from anyone that's getting the Budweiser one, Alphonso Davies was the man of the match.
We were sitting at Roxy Burger after the match, and it came up on Twitter the who scored.
Yes,
scores Alphonso Davies.
He got a 10.
He got a 10.
Yes. So let's see what our listeners thought. So let's rank them, baby.
So we'll start with
what was catching your eye this week, Steve?
Later. We'll go with the bottom 3 as we usually do initially, with not taking substitutes out. Sorry. Bottom was Ali Ghazal. Second from the bottom, Christian Teixeira, who I think did have a kind of an off game compared to everybody else.
He was on the pitch.
And then third from the bottom. This kind of surprised me because I thought one of the fullbacks would have been third from the bottom, but it was Jose Aja. Third from the bottom. Top 5. In 5th spot, you got Jake Nowitzki.
Really?
I think because that one run, sometimes that gets in voters' heads, and they're thinking...
I was surprised by that.
Yeah, they're thinking that he, caused the red card.
It's good, though, because folks see games differently as well.
And he also kind of had something to do. He kind of got an assist on that Alphonso Davies goal because he took Coleman out off the pitch and everything like that, and he basically helped set up that thing.
Assist.
Number 4 was Felipe. Number 3, Jordi Reyna. Number 2, Kai Kamara. And a unanimous vote, the first time this year, Alphonso Davies.
Wow.
Unanimous. Not one person. He didn't get a second place vote.
Oh, wow.
All first place votes.
Does he get like a chocolate bar for winning these?
Yeah, we'll give him a chocolate digestive.
Oh, there you go.
I'll present that next time I see him.
Give him a whole box.
No, I'm not that. Not that flush.
How many players get a passing grade? 59% said 10 to 14.
That was my vote.
And 35% said 5 to 9. About 5% said 0 to 4.
Where was the coaching staff?
Coaching staff. 6 to 10. About 52% rated them 6 to 10.
I still find this a weird question.
33%, because people wanted the coaching staff voted, so I throw it in every week. 33% said 1 to 5. So about you got about 85% saying, top 10. And then 11 to 14 was about 13%. And then, again, 2.5% said the bottom. So it's always the same number of people.
And one of the other questions we asked was about Fonzie.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how long can we keep him? How long should we keep him? There's been lots of Besiktas rumours this week that
he's getting
Atiba and Kyle Lahren are putting
he's getting the come to Besiktas thing.
Yeah.
And then I searched Twitter, Davies, Besiktas, and there were just a lot of Turkish fans.
Well, they know they'll get
like fans saying, "Oh, Davies," and mentioning Davies and this and that. So how do you?
Michael was joking. Just
how do you want the Whitecaps to deal with Alphonso Davies? So the in top spot with about 42% was sell him in the summer because he wants to and should go to Europe.
Wait, he wants to?
He does.
Any young player wants to go to Europe.
Sorry. I was wondering if there was something else.
No, he said to me earlier in the year about his desire to go and play in Europe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
37% said, I don't like either option. And the other option, which got about 21%, was wait till the end of the season so the Caps make a run and hope he signs, but risk losing him for nothing.
Wait, what?
It's a very convoluted
lose
option.
him for nothing. That's never going to...
no.
Well, if there's one place that could get messed up,
there has been murmurs that he may be out of contract at the end of the season.
Yeah, so that's why we were not sure.
Like out of contract, but they have options.
Yes. And we know with the whole Kyle Lahren option thing,
it's
fast that developed.
Besiktas' price went from like 10 million to like 1.5.
Yeah. So they're probably thinking, "Oh, here we go."
Oh man!
But no, apparently Kyle.
I heard people talking about that. I thought it was just joking.
I don't know.
Oh man!
You know how things grow arms and legs. We'll get our Whitecaps fact checker to get back to that one.
They do call Atiba the octopus over in Besiktas.
Really?
Yeah. So he's grown some arms and legs.
Oh, I thought it's because how he walked after he was coming out the bar. Oh no, that's Kyle Lahren I'm thinking about.
No. Oh my god.
So like final player, we talked a little bit about Brian Rowe.
Yeah.
Now he had a good game.
Yeah.
Didn't put a foot wrong.
I think he definitely went the second one back because it went off his legs.
Yeah.
But
he probably wasn't expecting lazy defending in front of him.
He graciously came and led the hum after the game.
I saw that. Why did Kai Kamara have the megaphone?
Oh, we just went and gave it to him to try and help with the post-match celebration because one of the things from before was I don't think he was like telling people, he's supposed to tell people to be quiet and whatever. And so it was just to help a little bit with that.
Ah, okay. But yeah, Brian Rowe, did well. We talked before, we don't know how many goals you can actually pin on him.
No.
Stefan Marinovic is still out, but he hopes to be back for the Philadelphia game.
Yeah.
So then you've got, do you put him straight in? Do you keep Brian Rowe straight in?
100% you put him in.
I think so too.
Brian Rowe is a backup keeper for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, I would think that as well. I got a chance to catch up with Stefan at training this week. Ask him how his rehab's going and when he expects to be back. So let's hear now from our favourite Kiwi keeper, Stefan Marinovic.
So I want to start off though, Stefan, just asking how you doing, how you feeling?
So feeling much better. I feel like rehab's going really well. It was a bit of a setback halfway through second week, but bounced back pretty quickly, so looking to be fit after the break.
Yeah, I was kind of right behind when the injury happened. It looked in at first that the ball would hit you in the face, and then...
Yeah, it looked pretty benign. Huh? I looked at it, I thought, in terms of injuring your knee, I thought it was quite funny because I watched the replay. So what happened basically, like when a boxer gets hit in the jaw and exactly the right way, it gets knocked out. So that happened to me, and I was in that like kind of crouched position, just gotten knocked out, KO, cold. Whole body went limp, and all my weight went on the knee. So it's just one of those freak accidents.
Wow. And obviously, it's giving you a chance to watch the team from a different angle. Have you kind of learned some things for when you're bringing back, some things that you've seen in the defence that you maybe want to iron out, or just seeing how players are playing differently?
It's a tough one because I like to think that I'm pretty observative when during the game. For the finer details and stuff that I definitely notice. From afar, I've seen us concede a lot of goals, but they're all like Robo and the gaffers said, that they've just been like soft kind of, just weird goals. It doesn't seem like the other team had to do much to do it, but it's not like we could do much more to stop them. But it's always, I hate using the gaffers lines, but it's fine lines.
Yeah, I know it's really weird. So the target is first game back, which would be the 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the target for me. So that's what I'm working towards.
And I have to ask you about the stuffed dog. I know you've talked a little bit about it, but just so that we kind of have it on the show, when did that start?
Oh, that was just a little bit of fun, like me and my mates from New Zealand. So I got mates from New Zealand. They live and work here, and we got together, and we just thought it'd be a bit of a laugh to bring him along. He's got his own. Thanks, bud. He's got his own Instagram, and they like to take him around, and I don't know, like a little mascot for themselves. So I thought, come on. They thought, let's put him on the Instagram. I was like, yeah, mate, all right, bring it along. So we thought we had a bit of Kiwi fun with it.
That was superb. That was great. Thanks so much, Stefan. Good luck with everything in your rehab. Cheers, man.
Keeper, you just made a decent save. So why do you feel the need to rant and rave? Screaming at defenders makes you look dead stupid, especially when they haven't done much wrong. Please cease the trait.
It would be good to see Stefan back there for the Philadelphia game. I don't know if that's just rushing him back a little bit too soon, but I mean,
was that a dig at him? He's not going to be at the World Cup, rushing him.
Oh no, we did talk to him about the World Cup. That's going to be in next week's show. He's not cheering on Peru. Just a spoiler there for you. But
it's called a teaser.
A teaser.
Yeah.
Okay. He mentioned there about how the ball hit him in his face and kind of knocked him out flush. Because when I saw it, we talked about this in the show. It just looked so weird because it looked like the ball had hit him. But then you heard Robbo talk about it on the radio.
Midweek on the radio, Robbo said that they were wondering which one was the worst one, and the doctors came back and said they were even. Like the concern for the concussion and the knee. So it wasn't one was worse than the other. They were concerned about both. And
two things. One, that's concerning. Number one. Two, Michael, you told me we're not allowed to listen to anything but CITR radio. What's going on, Steve?
He's sacked after this. It's okay.
I listen to everything.
We need to get a monkey that can operate the controls.
Oh, there's a callback joke from earlier tonight.
Yeah, let's not go there. Anyway, we'll be back with more after this.
Hi, I'm Alfonso Davies, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Off Montreal there. What's the name of that song, Steve?
Oh, man, you're going to do a good job. Grunlandic Edit. I got it.
Oh, very well done. Damn it. I wanted to really get you stumbling there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio. Now, we'd meant to wrap up our Whitecaps talk in the first two parts, but we kind of did overrun a little bit. So I just want to, just as a start to this one, just wrap up one final thing, which kind of brings us nicely actually
to MLS Week,
to the MLS Week in Review. It kind of feels like it's a halfway point in the season, but it's not because we've only played 16 games, so we've still got one game to go. But it does feel that way.
Yeah.
After the win on Saturday, the Caps temporarily moved up to third. They're now sitting fourth in the standings, 23 points from 16 games, 1.44 points per game, but that's actually seventh in points per game. So is that a false current position? Are we not really a playoff contending team right now?
No, I think we are a playoff contending team. I don't know if we'll be able to make noise in the playoffs, but we're definitely a playoff contending team. Because a lot of the teams at the bottom, like a San Jose, like a RSL, even though they live on a bit of a streak, I don't have that much faith in them. Of course, sometimes you don't have that much faith in the Whitecaps either.
I think the statement Vancouver is a playoff contending team is a fair statement, Steve. I would agree with you on that. Also, on the other side of that, Michael, I think you're fair to be concerned that the points per game is 7th out of.
I know I'm hung up on
but they're on an upward swing the last 2 games.
Yes, they are. Because 1.44 points per game equates to 49 points for the season.
That should be enough for a playoff.
Yeah, that should be a playoff team.
Yeah, it should be, but this is also a new reality of more teams in the conference, blah, blah, blah. MLS changes every year, whatever. Like, so it's hard to really... This is not like leagues in Europe where you're like, yep, the 40 points is the magic number because no one's ever, got less than that and stayed up and blah, blah, blah. It's the landscape has continued to change in MLS, so I wouldn't get too excited about the number 49.
No, I'm not. But it was an interesting week for the Caps. Obviously, any week when the Whitecaps win is a good week in MLS West. There was some good, some bad results. Dallas beat Montreal 2-0 on Saturday.
Match was over after less than 20 minutes.
Yeah, essentially. It was pretty comfortable.
It was in Dallas, too.
It was an own goal that kicked things off as well.
Did you see it? Did you see the own goal? Did you see that? Okay, so the free kick was put in. It hit a Montreal guy in his forehead, and then hit another one of their defenders on the back of his head.
Zach has had a lot of cough medicine probably and a lot of cough drops.
And then Montreal tried to claim the offside, and they looked at it. I think they looked at it on VAR.
I'm assuming that they didn't actually look it on the screen. They just talked to the VAR guy.
This is the best game recap we've done in this section.
It was so funny. Did you not laugh when you saw that?
Yeah,
I haven't actually watched it.
It was,
oh man,
no, it was comical, but it was
And then they gave up a penalty, which was a really bad penalty, given up on the edge of the box. Like,
Arudi was just taken completely out.
Yeah.
Well, someone else that did give up a penalty, Colorado.
What else is new?
I do not know how Anthony Hudson is going to survive too much longer at this
Was that
game.
against Houston?
Yeah, that was
it's another game that was over after like 30 minutes.
36 minutes, there's 2-0 to Houston.
Well, 30 minutes because they scored one goal, and that was enough to
Thomas
Colorado.
Martin,
that first goal was legit.
Yeah.
Thomas Martinez again.
Martinez.
Oh, yeah, he scored.
I noticed the two guys that were on the bench against Montreal the week before.
The play is nice. It'll get some highlight coverage or whatever because of his deking through, but Howard actually stops his first shot with his left foot, predominant left foot, and then he puts the rebound in with his weaker right foot.
Colorado, though, I don't see how they get out of this.
Well, in MLS, typically being rubbish for 2 years enables you to be great that year after.
Will Hudson be the guy to lead them, though?
Sounders.
That's the
next game.
Sounders United played. Maddox put them on the board first in the second half, in the 53rd. And then
also a rebound goal.
4 minutes later, Ladero tied it up, and then they basically won it in the 83rd minute or something like that.
So this is a game where, for all the troubles that Seattle has had, this is a game finally where Nicholas Ladero kind of stood up as a difference maker. And that strike from the top of the box was quality. And
it's a big
game
confidence booster for them. It's when a team's down, you need something like that. They were on a 3-game losing streak in MLS, but I have to talk about what happened midweek when they crashed out of the US Open
Up the
Cup.
Republic.
Yeah. I watched extra time of that.
Yeah,
that was a joy.
And there was some there's some issues in the stands there too in Sacramento.
Yes.
There was some complaints that they were Sounder supporters
they said they weren't getting
were harassing
security,
but there was word that they were harassing family members.
There was on both sides. Yeah. They were getting into it with some Sacramento fans. Sounders fans said they weren't given proper security.
Right. So none of those things are surprising because you get those sort of things that happen. One of the things that I think is in the history of this is I don't know if there's actually people from the Sacramento area who used to be Portland Timbers supporters before they had their own club to support. But I
Oh,
do.
'cause they were the affiliate for a bit. Were they
I don't know if they were the affiliate, but I do know, from my understanding, which might be
I
wrong.
think San Jose and Portland shared Sacramento as an affiliate.
Maybe. But my understanding is that there's some shared off-the-field supporter culture between the Timbers Army and the Bridge Street Battalion or whatever they're called.
Like the Lakeside boys as well have a little bit of thing going in the Timbers.
Totally.
Yeah.
So then we go to the Galaxy and RSL.
Wait, can we say one other thing?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
That was a friend of the show, David Osted's 150th MLS cap.
Oh.
Is he a friend of the show? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he is.
And I think he made
We'll have him on in a few weeks.
He made a save that might be up against Rowe for a save of the week. I think there was one he made pretty big.
Early, it was early?
Andrew Hicks will beat them.
Like we said, Galaxy against RSL. Ibrahimovic uses his head on the first 2 goals. Heads both of them in. And then Kamara scores the third to make finish it off 3-0.
It did not look like much of a match from the stuff I saw. You have to go.
Well, the goals were all scored within 16 minutes.
The resounding home victory is how MLS describes it.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But if you go back and you watch the first goal, it's kind of, I feel bad for Nick Raimondo.
It bounced back and forth, and he couldn't.
Right, but the problem was he gets up after the goal and looks at the referee and he's like makes the motion like I was nudged, and then you watch the replay and no one touches him.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, yeah.
And then San Jose and LA, they scored as many goals as was scored in the Vancouver game, 7.
Yes,
this was quite the affair.
Yeah, LA FC wins 4-3, but it was back and forth. There was a couple of lead changes in there too. San Jose scores the first goal. With the name.
Is that, what's his name? Zlatko?
Vaca. That's what the. So he scores first. Then LA comes back with a couple of goals within 4 minutes. Diomande, who seems like a good signing for them, and Betashore. Betashore puts them ahead.
And did you see? No celebration. He put the hands up like he put the hands up like I'm innocent. I'm not celebrating against San Jose. When he scores against Vancouver, I want to see if he does the same.
Then in the second half, after being obviously 2-1, second half Wondolowski scores 2 goals. Within 11 minutes of each other, putting San Jose back up 3-2, and then in the basically in the 90th and the 97th minute, 90 plus 7th minute, they score 2 goals. 90th minute, Diomande again with his second, and then Matinho scores in the 90 plus 7.
So Wando's first goal, he kind of gets played through, kind of on the left inside channel-ish, but he's a little bit older, and the defenders are a little bit quicker than him, so he kind of cuts it back. And it's like one of those moments where you're like, I think the league has caught up to Wando, he's not going to be. So he cuts it back, and then he sort of, it's not a chip, but he basically chips a keeper. Now, the replays I saw, I can't quite tell if there took a deflection. It might have deflected, but it was a beautiful chip. His second goal was a poor pass back to former Flounder keeper Miller.
Yeah.
And he can't
pick it up.
Wondolowski's running at him.
Yeah.
So he tries to take a touch,
Yeah.
but he basically gives it to Wondolowski, who puts it into the empty net to put them ahead 3-2.
Yeah.
And everyone, the few people in the stadium, think that San Jose has clinched all 3 points.
Yeah. But then, like we said, they came back, 90th minute they scored. Now, the thing is, it's funny, like I said, they scored the winning goal 90 plus 7. There was only 4 minutes showing of it. 4 minutes showing. So I don't know what San Jose was doing, if it was wasting time or somebody was wasting time, because they had an additional 3 minutes. That doesn't happen.
You also missed Portland and Kansas City drew 0-0.
Well, I was going to talk about that.
It was bad.
That was
bad.
It was. There had some.
It was poor.
There were some
Good
chances
result
in there,
for
but
the Caps,
good result.
But very poor match. It's interesting. I like to see that the Goats are really claiming California as their own, though. That was one of my things from all these games.
There was a game this week in the Canadian Championship.
Yeah, there was.
AS Blainville
for the Voyageurs Cup.
Voyageurs Cup. Oh, I said, what did I say? Canadian Championship.
It's the Canadian Championship.
For the Voyageurs Cup.
For the
They
Voyageurs
left,
Cup,
yes,
correct.
for the Voyageurs Cup.
Although there was somebody on the radio that said Canada Cup.
Oh, yes.
But I'm not going to mention who. And it really irks me because they should know. The CSA, they need to get on there. And hopefully the CPL will help too. That they just name. It's better than calling some of these radio guys calling it the Amway Cup, which they used to.
Yeah. Well, at least
the worst was when they used to call it that after the sponsorship was over.
Yeah.
That was.
So AS Blainville from Quebec beat Oakville 2-1. It was a goal in the 90th plus 5 or something, or 4th minute.
It was
into
deep in
time.
stoppage time anyway.
And it was a, they said a bicycle kick, but it was almost like a side
scissor
kick, yeah. And then what a goal, what a celebration afterwards. It was basically a pitch invasion.
Yeah,
The
there was
stands,
a fence.
the barrier,
Yeah.
kind of fell over.
There was flares.
And everything like that. I think.
Are we going to talk more about flares when it comes to TSS?
We can do, but
we need to.
They don't throw it on the pitch.
No.
But they do make other mistakes.
Oh, I don't know about this. You can tell me about this then. But I like flares and smoke at football. You cannot throw it on the pitch, especially when it's not a grass pitch, and you're smoking out the game and the game's stopped. It's like you've got to use a little bit of common sense.
I'll say this. I would agree.
And you can't throw beer at the opposition players like they were doing
I
as
heard
well.
about that, yeah. I would agree that the throwing the stuff onto the pitch, whether it's fake or grass, is not what my MO would be. The thing about what you said about the smoke and whatever. What if you don't have a Wesley Charles on your team and you think your team needs a break at around the 75th minute, Michael? Would it not be wise to just have the referee stop the game for a few minutes while the smoke dissipates? Your players can catch their breath, whatever. I'm not saying you should do that, but if you were a home supporter or an away supporter or whatever, and you want to give your side an advantage,
that makes a bit of sense.
You were there at Swangard back in the day.
Yes.
Portland in the playoffs.
Yes.
When Gersh scored
I have my lung injuries.
Two minutes in. But you remember that, right? There was
some cracking video in amongst all the smoke.
Smoke was passed out, and it wasn't like, hey, only one or two people go at a time. It was like people just went when they wanted to, or when something exciting happened. And then it was Gersh scoring. Gersh scored, I think, like 2 minutes in or a minute in, and that smoke was everywhere. And I think they had to stop that game, didn't they? Or I know Portland was complaining because you couldn't see half the field.
So getting to the future, setting
Second
up the
leg.
next leg. Sorry, Zach, that was going. They will be playing in Vaughan, not Oakville, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's the kind. Maybe it's the stadiums. They don't have a proper setup.
Was that Oakville's choice or was that CSA?
I don't know. That wasn't specified.
Hopefully, it was Oakville's choice.
Yeah, and then the
winner plays Ottawa,
Yeah,
and then the winner of that
plays
goes on
TFC.
to
Yeah.
TFC. Obviously, we're playing Montreal.
I'm looking forward to that.
Which we're not going to get into just now, but that's the kind of competition that you see a lot of the Whitecaps Canadian guys playing. And this is just basically my way to introduce our next interview. I got to sit down with Simon Colyn last week, chatting about signing MLS deal, the residency playoffs that are coming up. There's a very good chance he may actually play in that Canadian Championship game. So let's just hear now a little chat we had with the latest homegrown signing on the Whitecaps roster, Simon Colyn. So Simon, it's been a very eventful year for you. I was going to say 12 months. It's not even really 12 months. It's really since January. How does it feel for you? It's been a bit of a whirlwind. Has your feet kind of touched the ground at all from when you went to training with the team to now?
I think it was a bit of a surprise when I got invited to preseason with the first team. But I went into it with just trying to prove myself. I think it was a big opportunity. So I was just trying to make the most of it. And I think it was hard work, and I just kept on trying to prove myself. And yeah.
When did you first get an idea that they were going to bring you into the pre-season this year?
Didn't really have an idea. I knew they had started practicing, and then within the first week they had asked if I wanted to come practice one morning. So that was my first time, and then from there it was maybe once a week or so I'd come in, and then I got asked to go to the first trip to Hawaii. So
to go and do something like that, to travel with the first team, you've wanted to be a pro your whole life. I read everything when you got signed that you were talking about that. What were your feelings like? And what your parents have always been really supportive of everything that you've done. What were they like when you told them that you're going to Hawaii and going with the team for pre-season?
Yeah, they're happy for me. They're proud of me, but they kept on telling me you haven't accomplished anything yet. You have to keep working, because they're if you wanna achieve your goal, if you wanna achieve your dream of being a pro, then this is the time to do it. And this is only the beginning, but you have to prove yourself and have to work hard and show them what you're capable of.
Now, obviously, in the residency, you're used to kind of balancing your schoolwork with training with the 19s and the 17s, but this is a whole different level. How have you found, like, since you signed the MLS contract, balancing your school work with then being here in the morning with the first team?
Yeah, it's pretty busy. It's a little hard to manage it all right now. So about half the time in the week I'm practicing with first team, half the time with the residency. So try to keep up with school, but it's pretty hard to do it. But there's only a little bit longer left in school of this year, so I just have to finish that off, and then I'll be done for the year. But next year, I don't know. So
when you're a young player, you've obviously got a lot of choices that you can face. You've gone the homegrown route with the Caps. You could have gone to college. You could even have gone overseas. How long did it take you to weigh up all those things, or as soon as they offered you the deal, did you know that's what you wanted to do?
Well, I've liked it here for the past, since I've been here for the past 12 months or so, or year and a half, and I thought it would be a good place to start because I really enjoy it here. I like the coaching, I like the players, and after the preseason trips, it felt like a good team to be a part of, and I just felt like it was a good place. I'm still young, and there's a lot of experienced players here. So during preseason, a lot of players taught me, a lot of the experienced players, they were teaching me along the way. So it was pretty easy of a decision because they taught me a lot and they helped me out every day. So I thought it would be a good place to be.
Now you started the residency season playing with the 17s. You've also been playing with the 19s of late as well. 8 goals for each team so far. Playoffs are coming up. I would take it you're going to be involved with the 19s as opposed to the 17s. Is that the understanding?
Yes, for now. I think I'll start with the U19s. So I'll be playing in the playoffs with them. And then try to go as far as we can, obviously. But if the U17s were to go longer, then I could possibly play with them. But the goal is to be with the U19s and go as far as we can. So.
The team's sitting second just now in the conference, which doesn't get you one of the number 1 seeds, but it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things down there. Since you've been training with the first team and you've gone back playing with the 19s, you've been in quite a rich goal scoring form. You've banged quite a few goals. And what have you learned at MLS training level that you've been able to take back to improve your game now with the 19s?
I think just playing with the MLS team, it's a lot faster pace, and you adapt. When you're playing with them, you have to be much faster, quicker. Everything is sharper. So when I go back into the residency, I try to keep that level of just always being sharper than everyone, and I try to bring the way the first team plays back into the residency. And I think I've learned quite a bit in the time I've been with the first team so far, and it's been helping me in the residency game. So. Yeah.
Your teammates in the residency, are they constantly asking you what it's like training with the first team? Are they kind of looking at you as the example to set and they want to kind of follow that now?
Yeah, I think all the players in the residency's goal is to be a part of the first team. So they ask me sometimes what it's like, how's training, is it faster? They always ask me what's the biggest difference, and for me it's probably the speed. I was you don't really know how much faster it is until you start playing with them, because when you're playing in the residency you think it's fast, but then when you play with the first team you realize that it can become faster. So
this is going to be your first playoff experience. Yeah. What are you most looking forward to about going down to San Diego?
Just the games. I mean, hopefully we can play some good MLS teams and just prove myself out there that I to prove myself, I'd say. And I haven't been there, so I've heard it's a pretty big thing. There's lots of people, lots of teams watching, so just to go out, play well, play as a team and go far with them. So
obviously you haven't made your MLS debut yet. There's maybe a chance you might end up playing in the Canadian Championship. I know Carol likes to play a lot of the Canadian guys in that. What would it mean to you if you did make your debut in the Canadian Championship to take to the pitch at BC Place?
It'd mean a lot to me. It'd be in front of the home crowd, so no matter what competition or league it's in, to play for the first team, it's a big thing. So if I did get the opportunity, I'd be very happy and just take it as it comes and try my hardest. So keep going.
That's great. Thanks so much for your time, Simon, and good luck with the playoffs and everything.
Thank you.
Splodginess abounds there.
Quite,
and
quite
Simon,
intense.
Simon Colyn
Quite,
as well.
quite intense there at the end.
Did you play that song for him?
I love splodginess. Any opportunity I can get to have splodge in the show. That's my little nickname for you. Splodge. Let's try and get that to catch on.
Just for everyone, he was pointing to Steve when he said that.
Well, I said the S. Splodgy Steve.
So, getting to residency.
Yeah, so Simon Colyn there. He's going to be heading down with the residency for the playoffs that's coming up.
I didn't know it was in San Diego, man. I would have booked a ticket.
Yeah,
I love
the
San Diego.
18th to the 22nd in San Diego.
We'll talk about San Diego later.
When's Comic-Con?
In July somewhere.
All right.
SeaWorld, you can always go.
Yeah.
Take him down to Tijuana.
Why go to SeaWorld
Oh,
when you
you
go
know
to the
what's
aquarium?
quickly, really what's good there is the safari. It's out a little bit from the coast, but it's a really good place to go.
Have you ever been to the African Lion Safari in Ontario?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've been to Marineland.
Oh,
that's
me
fun too. Yeah.
I think they took away all the dolphins though, right? Didn't they?
I went when I'm sure it was all good.
Yeah, me too.
So getting back to residency.
We've got residency week coming up next week, Steve.
Yay.
So looking forward to all your articles.
Yeah.
Yep. So get working on those. Just thought I'd break that down because I actually thought it was 2 weeks away, and then I only found out when I was putting this together it's actually next week we're going to have residency.
Yeah, June 18th to 22nd.
Yeah, 18th to 22nd. They've changed the format this year. We got to hold quarterfinals here, but now the quarterfinals are going to be down in San Diego as well. So good luck to the guys down there. The 19s are second seeds in Group D. 10th seeded overall. They're drawn with the 5th seeded Patiadors, who they've already lost to 3-2 this year, stoppage time winner, so that's up for grabs. 21st seeded New England, who they just beat 1-0 when they all flew through on the charter.
Yeah.
Everyone takes a charter these days. We don't.
Well, everybody to Vancouver will take a charter because it is the farthest.
Why is that?
Why would we not take a charter?
If only there was a place someone could ask such a question.
Yes. Do you know? I think there might be. And 30th seeded Crew SC Academy Wolves.
Which is based in Michigan, the team.
Oh.
Yeah.
17s are playing Philadelphia Union, Barca Academy, coming all the way over from Spain for that one.
Well, they're actually Arizona.
Oh, okay. And some Orlando team as well. We always beat Orlando.
Orlando City Thieves?
I think it could be.
And remember, only one team makes it out of the group, not
Yes.
two.
So we'll have full coverage on that on AFTN coming up soon. I know you all love that. It's actually one of my favourite times of the year. But anyway, after the break, we're going to be turning our attention to Canadian Premier League, and we'll be back with that after this.
Hi, I'm Jordan Much, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
That was anthemic.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega,
Theme
the
song.
cleaner.
Yeah. Devil's Play is the name of his theme song. And we're going to get to Canadian Premier League, but I want to mention a great day for Canada on Saturday. It was Dominion in New Japan. 3 of the top wrestling titles in New Japan are held by Canadians. The Never Open Weight is by Michael Elgin. He won that. Chris Jericho, who is absolutely a dastardly heel.
Yeah, I watched that one.
He is vicious right now, and it's
Love
amazing.
his look.
He's dropping F-bombs in his promos
Yes.
too. So he beat Naito for the Intercontinental title, and then Kenny
I
Omega.
thought about going on this cruise, actually.
Yeah. We could do a podcast from there. and then Kenny Omega, who is the best wrestler in the world, from Winnipeg, won the heavyweight title.
Yes.
Beating
60
Okada.
plus minute match.
60, it was 2 out of 3 falls. He won 2 falls. Okada held the belt for 18 months or something like that, or plus 18 months. I can't remember how much it was.
Is that why you're wearing Kenny's
but
shirt?
He actually,
Yeah, he's got his shirt.
and he actually wrestled.
I thought
like he actually wrestled, not like Brock Lesnar who doesn't
I
wrestle.
just thought Kenny was a custodial engineer because your shirt says Kenny the cleaner.
That's why. That's his whole thing. He actually, one of the matches, he brought a mop to the ring.
Yeah, he used to bring it on Ring of Honor.
What's it say on the side? Bullet Club?
Yeah, Bullet Club for life.
Bullet Club for life.
Okay.
Too sweet me, Zach.
What?
Too sweet him.
me.
Too sweet him, man.
Or one sweet me.
Come on, too sweet him,
Come on.
man. Come on, man. It's too sweet him.
Come on, too sweet
Come on,
me.
too
Come
sweet
on.
him.
Come on.
You got too sweet.
Come on,
If
to
you're
me.
listening to
To
this,
me. To me.
please help.
So let's get to the Canadian Premier League.
Yeah, because that ties in
Big
nicely
news,
to
yeah.
all this Canadian talk. 2 more teams are in. Valor FC for Winnipeg. I like the crest. I hate the name.
But the city's name is in the crest, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's not in the name of the club.
No.
Valor FC.
I like it.
This obsession with this military stuff.
But they're not all.
It's so tiring to me. I honestly think it's bullshit. I really don't like it at all.
I can understand one team doing that. I'm surprised that they have like multiple teams.
Okay, so how many teams are there?
Victoria's going to have some Navy thing now. You've got York 9. That's a military thing.
No, it's not at all a military thing. It's
York-
the 9 municipalities that make up York Region.
York 9's not military.
Has nothing to do with military. What are the other ones? It's just cavalry.
It's cavalry and Valor.
There's 2.
And probably the Navy. The Salish Seamen. We talked about them last week. Spunky team from the island.
Oh,
I hate these names.
There's
So,
two. There's 2.
Thank heavens for FC Edmonton. Calling themselves FC Edmonton.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll come to them soon. But let's get back to Valor.
Valor, like you said, the crest is nice. It is a nice crest.
I want a Valor Club T-shirt, maybe.
Yeah. Valor
It's a
Football Club.
wrestling thing.
I got that. Yeah.
But they are playing in the Blue Bombers home facility. I think
Yeah.
they're partly owned by the Blue
Investor
Bombers.
Driffield, yeah.
But the thing is, it will look big because there will be a lot of empty seats.
I'm a bit concerned about that.
I think it all depends on the way you like film it or like
Well, look at
or
BC
broadcast
Place.
it.
We can make that look intimate.
Smaller. Yeah. So it'll be depending on how they do that and how they work that out. I think there is a chance they can.
I missed a couple of games at BC Place recently, but I was told that during the broadcast of one game, because a section that was visible on TV was so empty, they tarped it off during the match because there was so much displeasure over the fact that that one section was so empty.
Wow.
It was not BC Place was kind of that whole covering thing was kind of okay at the beginning, but it's kind of lot, especially since you had the Women's World Cup, you've had the World Cup qualifier against Mexico in there. We'll probably never see Canada play against BC Place in the next 10 to 20 years, but those games I think also just made you feel like, okay, let's get rid of these. Let's move this thing forward. Let's get rid of these sales. Let's get rid of these whatever. I know that's a pipe dream.
Yeah. I mean, can they do stuff like
and
that?
There's plenty of reasons why that hasn't happened.
But in the Bomber Stadium, I don't think that's possible.
No, because it's a totally different type of stadium. It's an outdoor Canadian pigskin ground. My biggest concern about the setup of the stadium, and I haven't seen or haven't heard if they're going to augment or change things at all, is the fact that, like at Empire, for example, the places where the supporters typically gather behind the goals would be very far away from the actual
very
action.
high up at Empire. And
the height helped at Empire, but you were still really far away.
Yeah.
And you can do things like Ottawa did some things at Lansdowne when they first went there.
Yeah, but they moved people in behind the goal.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because do you want to do that if that's also the end zone for your pigskin team, right? Do you really want?
I think they'll.
I mean, at BC Place, they don't care if monster trucks and playgrounds and.
Because it's a grass pitch, isn't it?
No,
is it not?
I don't think so. I could be wrong with that. I have to double check that actually.
I think it's the boat show.
Because they won't care about the
boat show. Yeah,
the boat show does the most damage, I think, out of all of it.
But kudos to the team who got it ready for less than 24 hours after pigskin this last week.
Yeah,
very true. But a team who we don't know where they're going to be playing yet is FC Edmonton, back from the dead.
Yeah.
No, there's no dead. Just the first team
back from
took a hiatus.
Back from a slumber.
Back from the dead.
So you want to talk about logos?
Yes.
Now here's the thing. This is what I want.
Building up to this.
This is what I want to say. The new FC Edmonton logo is much superior to the previous FC Edmonton logo.
Yes.
However, it's still poor.
You don't like the white
Not
rabbit?
Not poor. It's still not great.
I don't think it's very legible, to be honest.
The bottom part there, the rabbit thing?
Well, all of it. And
Okay.
the lettering, and I don't like it.
I think in 10 years they'll rebrand.
Oh, yeah.
Or if that's whatever it's called, they'll change the logo.
It's growing pains. Nobody ever has a good first logo.
But this is not their first logo, man. Sorry.
First logo for the CPL.
Their first one wanted to be like Toronto FC. That
Yeah.
was-
What do you think of the whole rabbit thing? I kind of like it in a way.
Oh,
I don't like it on the crest, but I like the whole.
It's a connection to the connection to. It's given a little bit of lore.
Yeah,
to the team, and it's a connection to the supporters.
Do we need to explain to our listeners?
I guess
who
we
might not
should,
know?
yeah. So a rabbit run on the pitch.
Yeah, they were losing a game, rabbit around
Thank
the
God
pitch.
it wasn't a streaker. That would imagine what the logos would be like down the. Here comes Boobalicious Betty.
Oh man, yeah. So a rabbit ran on a pitch or whatever. They came back. They rallied and came back. It's called the Rally Rabbit. It's been their thing. So it's nice to see something natural and organic come, and it's a tie into the tradition of the club and the supporters of the club. That's nice. I also like it for other reasons, which I'll explain at a later date in the future.
Okay. Does that mean that Tom or Dave are actually then the Mad Fathers?
Sure.
Now, just to let you know a little bit of information, within 12 hours, I know you said 1,000 people showed up. Within 12 hours, they had 800 deposits paid for.
No, but the awkward thing about that is, again, this is
why can't we stay positive? Why do we have to?
No, it's a little bit awkward because they've been doing a campaign for months. And they've been taking deposits like way before.
I've had the regular emails because I'm on the
right
mailing list.
So and the other awkward thing is they keep saying, like last year they said we more than tripled our season ticket holders, and now they've said this 800 number is more than the season ticket holders than they ever had in a season.
So this is within 12 hours.
No, I know.
That's a solid run.
Yeah.
So that's just.
You just expect there's like Winnipeg's already at 900 or whatever, right? There's other clubs that.
Where do you think they're going to play?
It's Clark. I've heard it's Clark.
I think it's going to be Clark.
They'll figure it out. But there's good
it's
rivalry.
Good to see them back, yeah, and especially because you've now got an Alberta derby.
Yeah,
Al
Clasico.
Yeah, Cavalry, and I love that name. Actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a bit of a piss take, but at the same time, it's like.
I mean, I know it's not military enough for you, but yeah, it's good. Speaking of their rivals, I got to go to. I was in Calgary for a conference for work. And I had a little small. No, I did not do that. A small window of time because it was actually my schedule was really full. Small window of time, so I went over to Spruce.
There's nothing else to do in Calgary.
There literally is nothing else for me to do in Calgary. I went over to Spruce Meadows and I got to see where the stadium's supposed to go and all that kind of stuff.
Nice. Did you take pictures for the site?
No, but I made a video that I might share, and you can retweet it or share it, or you can put it on the site if you think it's.
It's not you killing the rally rabbit.
I cannot deny that. No, but
that would stoke the rivalry.
It's interesting. The only awkward thing I'll say about it is that, and unless I misread the articles and stuff about what they're doing and the things they're saying, is I thought what I read was they're going to be making it into a football ground that can remove seats or change stuff so they can still do horse stuff on it.
That's what I read.
So they say there's a 2-day conversion process that happens.
Mm-hmm. That's fine, and you know what? The horses will give the grass a good fertilizer too.
I just don't know how great it's going to be for the football ground side of things. The one thing I will say, Michael,
can you imagine the bounces when the horse's hoof, if it goes too far in the ground?
It's great fun about. Oh, look at the manure on the pitch.
Yeah,
is it from the horse or is it the foothouse?
Michael, there is a little already like viewing area. It's like a little shed end. That would be perfect for like away supporters. Might be too small for some groups, but if they keep it and it's an okay proximity to the
you could lose some weight and fit in here.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're hilarious.
Somebody that is going to be in the Canadian PL next year, and by the looks of it, we'd have to think he's going to be with Cavalry. Calgary boy, born and bred, Marco Carducci. Steve got a chance to speak to Marco when the Foothills were in town last week. Let's hear from him now.
So, Mark, how do you feel the season's going for you so far?
I mean, we've obviously had a very good start with the 3 wins, and we let our last game slip away in the last minute as well. But We'll take the positives out of the draw against Portland and the loss today. Like I said, we put points on the board early, and we know the season comes quick, right? And the games go by soon, so it's about picking up points. But I think we can be happy, and now the important part is just to learn from this game.
So since you left the Whitecaps, and you now it's been a tough couple of years because you haven't really established yourself. But now you return to Calgary, your hometown. CPL's coming there. Do you feel like more you're not stable, but you got a foothold? And in what you want to do with your career and getting everything reestablished?
Right. Yeah. No, I think I understand what you mean. And yeah, obviously the CPL is a goal for me, and I think a lot of players on the field today. It's very exciting, and it's a great opportunity for young Canadian players. And like you said, I've been looking now for somewhere to like you said, establish myself and get minutes and grow as a goalkeeper and get that crucial experience and playing time. So obviously with an opportunity to do it in my hometown is pretty exciting, and we'll see what the future holds, but that's definitely the goal for me.
Obviously, like you said, nothing is guaranteed, but it helps playing for the coach that's coming up in there.
Yeah.
Has he said anything to you about the future, or is everything just like you said you have to compete and we'll see next year when it comes up?
No, everyone's still on trial. There's no guarantees. Right now our sole focus is the PDL. We're here to first of all win the Western Conference, obviously win the division first, win the conference, and win the whole thing. That's our goal, and that's our first priority. Individually as players, we have those goals to be in the CPL team, but there's no guarantees, and it's all about performance.
How do you feel like the buzz is in Calgary right now? Obviously, it's only been like a couple weeks, so it's kind of early on. But what do you feel like how it's being recognized in the media and everything? Seems like you're the face of Calgary right now. Everybody wants to talk to you about it, including us. So what do you feel? How do you feel the buzz is?
The buzz is there. Yeah, it's very exciting. Definitely the city is ready for it, I think. And from the event we had just a couple of weeks ago, from the official announcement, you could see just kind of the social media world lighting up, and also just the entire soccer community. And I think the city is excited to have it. And yeah, like you said, obviously a hometown boy, and to kind of have an opportunity to be a face of it and kind of push for it, it's really exciting for me, and something that I want to do my part to grow the game there as well.
Perfect, thanks.
Great, Steve, thank you.
But it's very cold out here in the snow, marching to and from the enemy. Oh, I say it's tough, I have had enough. Can you stop the cavalry?
Welcome back. That was Marco Carducci there. Looking forward to hopefully being with Calgary next year. Nothing's settled. No one knows who's going to be there, but you have to
He's
think.
in.
Yeah.
He's the face. I said it in
and
the
he's
interview.
a local lad as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And the great thing we talked about this last week, the great thing for these Calgary guys is they're already there. They're impressing Tommy Wheeldon and other folk as well. He said in our interview with him last week he can't sign everyone, so he knows that some of these guys will be dispersed elsewhere into the league.
It's just one player that
there's still a lot to be revealed as well as to exactly what's going to happen.
Will it be hard for him not to choose his brother?
Well, he might.
I'm just joking. Joking.
That's what I was saying. The one player's not impressing right now.
Yeah. I'm totally joking. Totally. Jay just made one mistake in one game. I'm just joking.
Calgary Foothills are back in town
on Friday.
This Friday as well for a big one against TSS Rovers. Just going back to CPL talk, Hamilton and Victoria look like they're going to be teams 6 and 7, you would think, in the CPL.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at me confused. I was like...
Wait, teams... Oh, yeah, and then Ottawa.
Yeah, because we've only got 5 announced so far.
In Ottawa. Ottawa's going to be the...
Well, are they, though?
Yeah. Who's telling you no?
I'm reading all this thing that it seems to have cooled a little bit. And Tom Fath, at the Eddie's launch, kind of let slip about St John's, Newfoundland being... He was going on about Newfies being in, and there's been a lot of chat about St John's being the team in, given Halifax arrival.
Yeah, but the thing is, they could
very close together.
They could be. It could be. Maybe he was talking about 2020. We don't know that.
We do know that there are lots of cities and groups interested in bringing teams.
Was it 20 or something he said?
Yeah, it keeps on growing because people, I think, continue to see that the long-term plan for this can be both good for the sport in the country and long-term, I think, financially viable, for lack of a better term.
Well, the next announcement's not going to be till July 12th.
Yeah.
And you'd expect that to be Hamilton or Victoria. there's D-Day coming up on the 13th to see if Victoria can get that hydropole moved.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked AFTN during the week, I did a kind of ground hopping thing for my visit to West Hill Stadium 2 years ago, and you can actually see the pole. It's a massive, massive pole that they have to move or build around or do something with it. But I like the little setup there. It's a good stadium.
Obstructive views are okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's exciting times.
My guess would be that Hamilton will be the next side announced.
And then Victoria, probably, and then we'll see if it is Ottawa. It just, the vibe I was getting from various things I was reading was it might be a little bit unlikely now with Ottawa.
To be honest, I haven't asked in a while, but I would be surprised if it was in Ottawa.
Ottawa seems like one of the teams that are already set, ready to go with their team and their fan base.
Ottawa has been getting ready with all their Canadian signings, and
I've been enjoying chatting about the CPL the last couple of weeks. We'll take a break next week because we'll just do a World Cup thing. And there might not be any more real big news coming out in the next couple of weeks, but we'll have it covered here. Just before we end this section, just want to talk about TSS Rovers. Mentioned that Calgary's coming into town on Friday. Get out to that match if you can at Swangard. 7 o'clock kick-off. $10 to get in. You're going to see so much great Canadian talent out there and so many players that are likely to be in the Premier League next season.
You're going to get talent. You're going to get a rivalry. These guys don't really like each other.
Yeah.
It's
always
gets
been
heated.
A little bit feisty.
Yeah, it gets heated.
Rovers played today. Not a good performance against the Seattle Warthogs.
Well, they had something to. They were like, they feel like they got robbed.
Yeah,
because they lost in the last minute.
It was 2-2.
Yeah, but they still got lost points, right?
I just want to say I really appreciated the Warthogs. That was very. If you don't understand that reference, go back an episode or two. That was good.
But a great goal from Zach Verhoeven for TSS Rovers today. You've got to check that out. And Andrew Hicks, I don't know, 7-8 saves he pulled off today.
Kept it reasonable.
And about 80% of them or more were like spectacular stops.
Isn't Joe Deasy supposed to count that for you? Shouldn't you know?
Well, it was 7 the last time he told me. I don't know if he did any after that. But yeah, I mean, Hicksy's got to be a guy that has to get a look in the CPL next year.
Yeah, you would think he would.
Hope so, anyway. Anyway, we'll be back with the final part of this week's show after this.
Hi, I'm Jake Nowinski, and you're listening to the AFTN Soccer Show.
Welcome back to part 5 of the AFTN Soccer Show on CITR Radio. And you know what that means now. If it's part 5, it's time for my favourite part of the show. Yep, it's Wavelength time. If you're a new listener, Wavelength is our section of the show where we play a football-related song. And it's World Cup Wavelength for this month and then a little bit into next month.
Yeah.
This one, though, is going to be a bit of a Marmite song. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I played it earlier today, and my wife heard it, and she really did not like this at all. This is a song by a band called Wembley 73, and the song is called Brazil versus Slough Town 66.
Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Brazil
0, Slough Town 3. Slough Town, Slough Town, Slough Town.
Rubbers on the turn, say ho!
Slough Town, Slough Town. Slough Town.
Penny. Oh, he's got it looking up the line. I really have seen everything now. Penny saw the goalkeeper was way up the line, and he got from 40 yards. And Victor would and could not have caught it. What a piece of thinking.
Brazil, Brazil, Brazil.
Nil. Zlatan 3.
Kelly on the attack. Kelly kicks but misses. Nothing seems to put off this Brazilian star. Unfortunately for the South American lads, this goal is disallowed. This time, Kelly's on the losing side. This time, Kelly's on the losing side. This time, Kelly's on the losing side.
But even in that company, one man stood out. Pelé, surely the greatest player who ever kicked a ball.
Zlatan. Zlatan. Zlatan.
Rebels on the tape, say ho!
Zlatan. Zlatan. Zlatan.
Brazil, 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 Brazil.
Nil. Zlatan 3.
The boy called me Pelé in the street. I don't know if I made some mistake or if it was a joke. I fight with the boy. I don't like. I said, no, my name is Edson. I said, no, my name is Edson.
Zlatan. Zlatan. Zlatan.
Rebels on the tape, say ho!
Zlatan. 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 Zlatan.
Rebels on the tape, say ho!
Zlatan. 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 Zlatan.
Rebels on the tape, say ho!
Zlatan. Zlatan.
I honestly cannot stress how much my wife hated that song.
I'm just so glad that the World Cup comes every 4 years.
But I really appreciated that song. That was one of the better songs you ever played on Wavelength.
Excellent. That was Wembley 73 with Brazil versus Slowtown. 66.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, now it's time for BC Soccer Web headlines. BC Soccer Web headlines is brought to you in partnership with bcsoccerweb.com, your one-stop site for news, links, and more, locally, nationally, and internationally. Make it part of your daily routine. Check out bcsoccerweb.com. What have you been browsing on the interwebs this week, Steve?
So, a couple follow-up things. Remember Gian Buffon, who kind of lost it in the Champions League?
Gianluigi Buffon?
Yeah. He is, will get additional games because of the way he reacted towards the referee and after his comments. So it's 2 additional games if he signs with a team that's in the Champions League or Europa. So
you're saying he should join East Fife?
Maybe.
Okay, I know people would disagree at the time, will disagree now. I still think he was in the right. That was not a penalty.
Whatever the case is, you don't react like that to the referee.
No, when
respect,
you're,
Zach, respect.
When you're going out, when you know you're going out, and you know that's the thing that's taking you out.
Yeah, I mean, that was tough. But listen to the words of Aretha.
Respect.
RESPECT.
Now, we talked about the Panini stickers from before.
I finally bought mine.
You got the whole set?
I bought my complete set.
Well, okay.
No, I got a soft one.
Boo.
So you saved money because
I saved a lot of money
because they did. Remember that
I stole it.
The math professor who calculated how much it was going to cost.
700 and something. He said.
So Music Magpie, who is a website that sells used stuff, you can sell your own stuff.
Yeah, I have used them.
So they tested it and they opened up They spent about £800. They opened up 1,000 packs. They got all but one of the 682 stickers. And the one that was missing, and I'm going to really mess up this name, Belgium's Raja Nangalan.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
from
off?
Roma. From Roma.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
So he was the only one missing. The ones that were most common was Bjorn Sigurdsson and Kreis Nam Tahi. Those are the two that were
Bjorn
more common.
from Iceland?
Yes,
Yeah.
Iceland. So he was kind of close. It's just the one. And what they did was afterwards they donated all the stickers to Manchester City hospital, a hospital in Manchester City, for the kids.
Manchester City has their own
I
hospital?
know, that's what I was thinking as
No,
well.
Manchester as in the city, Manchester. City
Oh,
of
okay.
Manchester's hospital. Okay, so
It's all
next.
the diving they do, they get injured.
I was like, that must have been hard for you to say, Steve. I know
Yeah.
you're a big United guy.
I'm okay.
I got my full sticker set for $129 US.
Why didn't you get the hardcover?
Because
That
he
would've
wasn't
cost
selling
more.
the hardcover.
Oh.
It was an auction on eBay.
I'm assuming it would have cost more too.
Why don't you just get the hardcover and then sell someone your soft
Well, I can
cover?
still buy a hardcover.
Yeah, you
and
should do that.
Because it's loose stickers.
Yeah, you should do that.
So I get to stick the stickers in next week when I'm on holiday.
Yeah, you should.
Mm-hmm. It's coming from Venezuela.
Oh boy, I wouldn't trust that.
eBay protection.
Oh, okay.
Anthony Blundell said it's cool.
Okay. So Kanifa World Cup, obviously that's done now. It's they crowned the champions on Saturday, I believe. Yeah, Saturday.
Cascadia came sixth.
Sixth spot. They lost to the eventual champions Karpatlia, who are
Hungary.
a ethnic Hungarian side from Western Ukraine. And they beat Northern Cyprus 3-2 on penalties. It was 0-0 and they ended up 3-2 on penalties.
Regardless, up the Dugs, their first ever games.
Yes.
Good for them.
So, English Premier League, they officially are going to implement winter break, but it's kind of convoluted.
Is it in January?
It's in February, after the transfer window
Yeah,
obviously
and
closes.
they're moving the FA Cup to midweek for the 5th round as well.
Because they want to give the weekends off, I guess. It's going to be, it's not even going to be, it's going to be staggered. So there will be some games still.
Yeah. It's 1 week.
Yeah.
Again, it's like the MLS World Cup break. 1 week off is not a break.
It's not a break at all.
bye-week.
It's a bye week because
Yeah.
Germany takes 6 weeks off. The players have 3 weeks off total, no football, and then 3 weeks of training.
And then also, not only will they play the FA Cup in midweek, there will be no replays.
Yes.
It'll be penalties
Which I don't mind,
and extra time.
but
If you're in the Champions League or the Europa League, maybe this will help. I don't know. But that's right around the time the round of 16 is.
I think it's maybe just to give them a break from too many games.
well, they said that a lot of the
was-
top players play 50 games
Yeah.
a year. My heart bleeds for them.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Yaya Toure is willing to has said that his agent has said that he's willing to join a rival of Manchester City for £1 a week in order to prove Pep Guardiola wrong.
Wait, does that include like a
Includes
birthday
United.
cake? Birthday cake on his birthday?
I don't know about that. That's a good point.
United, he's 5.
No, United, Chelsea, Arsenal. Who am I missing? Liverpool.
How old is he
One of
now?
those teams.
Tottenham.
I think he's in his definitely in his 30s.
I hope
maybe
someone
30s.
takes him up just for the experiment.
Yeah.
That's what English football needs, is some more
Yes.
experiments.
And cheap players.
Now talking about
Is he on a free?
Yeah, he's on a free.
Okay, yeah.
Talk about experiments. Nike is experimenting with not supplying. That was a bad transition. But they're not going to be
It's not experimenting.
No, they're not sending. They're refusing to send Iran soccer equipment because of sanctions that have been applied to Iran by the U.S. Earlier because of the nuclear stuff. So
is the Iran national team sponsored by Nike right now?
I think they were.
Their boots were, yeah.
Yeah, so they're not getting cleats now from them. So they're going to have to arrange something else. Otherwise, if they take them to court to see if they can overturn the decision.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, you know what? One of the other football manufacturers, I'm sure, will step in and happily provide the Iranian national team some football boots.
Especially if they're based in Europe. World Cup match official resigns after cash sting revealed. He's an assistant referee from Kenya, and he was caught taking a $600 cash payment in an undercover television sting. Now, this thing we'll talk about later as well because it actually pertains to 2026 World Cup. So, he basically has resigned and he's not going to as his position and he won't be going. So, an interesting thing there. It was I think a Saudi referee also got banned because he used WhatsApp to ask for money or something like that.
Yeah.
So
we talked about it a couple weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah. In U.S. soccer, FC Cincinnati fans are showing some support for Save the Crew. They traveled up on Saturday to their home game. I couldn't see how many people there were, They never announced it, but by the picture, it looked about 50 to 60 fans from Cincinnati in that one picture that showed up, and they had T-shirts. Hell is a real thing, and then Save the Crew hashtag. So they were obviously looking. Don't they call their stadium Hell or something like that? Or I can't remember.
Well, there's the Bailey.
Whatever the
My
case.
dog's called Bailey. Happy 14th birthday, Tim, today.
I believe in Hell, but I don't think either of their grounds would.
No, they have some kind of nickname for their stadium.
It's a bit tough to get there.
So
actually, it's rather easy, but okay.
You don't usually see that of rival teams supporting that. So good on them.
No, I mean, if that happened in Scotland, we'd go and just piss on their stadium.
Yeah, I think they're maybe looking for a short trip so they don't have to travel too much.
Oh yeah, you do want in a higher derby.
That whole thing just reeks of when you look at Cincinnati coming in like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, starting as a club, and when the pre-court stuff happened, like it just all feels like this is just walking down.
You'd think pre-court would want a big Ohio derby as well, and
not if the dude doesn't care and he wants to move. But you're right, he should want. Yes.
Did you see during the week Taylor Twellman got everyone all worked up because
Taylor never does that.
Yeah, he kind of said he said I still believe that Columbus will end up in Sacramento, which I didn't think anyone had been talking about at any point.
No
he
one
then clarified it and said he was just spitballing, but it was a weird thing to suddenly come out and say.
The Vancouver and the MLS era, the first ever away game was in Philadelphia, and Massimo and I traveled out there, and there was a couple other people from the East Coast who came out for the game. One night, I was sick or whatever. One night, Massimo met Taylor Twellman at a local sports bar.
We interviewed him with my first podcast wife.
Yeah.
Oh, Pierce Lang. Oh, yeah.
He wasn't very happy with Pierce's questions, I remember. So also in USL news, we're talking about Cincinnati getting a team, and we talked about residency earlier being in San Diego. San Diego has been denied a USL team, the 1904 FC.
Yeah,
will
basically
not
they said it's such a crap name, we cannot let you in the league.
Yeah, they basically said there's options still down the road to work it out, but a lot of their people that were part of their organization have moved on now. They actually resigned and left because they don't see a team. There is definitely a possibility that they go USL Div 3.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's going to happen.
There's the NISL, which is the new league that Eric Ronaldo's launching.
When you can't get into USL...
Well, they did originally want to join NASL, and then they had that rug pulled out.
But still, when you can't join USL, something's not right.
It's baffling, though, because San Diego's a market you would think they really, really want into.
So is that...
That's telling, maybe.
No, but yeah, is that MLS saying, leave that for us?
Oh.
But no, you think MLS would want the USL side, and like you think MLS would want them to pull a Cincinnati, but
Steve would be fine with the Whitecaps move to San Diego. He loves it down there.
Which,
if I would move on with them, yeah, sure, but no.
We'll move you on to this.
You heard it here first. Steve's moving to San Diego.
That's the only American city I think I would move to.
Classy.
I think
San Francisco I would go.
Do you know that's where, speaking of something that's not wrestling, that's where Brick Vault is located? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Is that a wrestler?
No, Brick Vault is what is it? What is Brick Vault?
It's a Lego thing.
It's a Lego YouTube channel.
Oh.
Yeah, my kids watch it. I don't pay attention to it. Okay, so getting to Canadian news, Canadian Kadisha Buchanan signs a lucrative contract with Lyon. Basically, according to her agent, she's one of the highest paid defenders now in women's soccer. They believe the only other defender is fellow Lyon and France captain Wendy Renard. They won the Champions League for the second straight time this year. She was on the bench because of a concussion issue, but otherwise, good on her to get such a lucrative contract. Of course, we don't know how much it is compared to.
Can we take a moment to talk about today's game while we're here? Can we take a tangent?
3-2. They lost to Germany, I think.
Yeah. Sinclair got another
goal. Yeah.
Took a step towards the record.
Yeah.
And then was it Fleming? Fleming
scored.
Got the goal-ahead goal, and then they let up two later ones.
Yeah.
So,
It's disappointing, but
good crowd. Good crowd.
And still a good showing from them, because in the past they would have nothing against Germany. They
Right.
were. I remember the one at BC Place.
Was it 3-1, that one?
I think the goal. Yeah, the score wasn't that bad, but they really showed nothing. Yeah.
It was a full house too in Hamilton.
Yeah,
and there was the Voyageurs were there, but there was also with the Voyageurs were a number of the Barton Street Battalion.
That's good.
Yeah.
Speaking of women's soccer in Canada, the Canadian women unfortunately lost to Mexico today in 2-1 in the semifinal for the qualification for the U17 World Cup. So they have lost, but they still have a chance to qualify because
The
top
third
3
place
teams,
game.
they have to play Haiti. Haiti lost 3-2 to the U.S.
Was it Haiti who knocked out the U20 team?
Something like that. So they're
revenge.
it's not an easy one, but hopefully they'll be able to pull it out.
Revenge is a dish best served
Cold?
at the U17 level.
Oh, okay. We talked about the Toulon tournament last week, and then obviously in the thing, Canada eventually lost 2-1 to France.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention, and this kind of ties in, I forgot to mention this earlier, in the post-game show for the Whitecaps, Paul Dolan mentioned he was there, and the thing is the agents there mostly asked about Alphonso Davies, even though Alphonso wasn't there. So still interesting stuff that he's getting people talking about even though he's not at the tournament.
I got to talk just very, very briefly with David Norman VI, and yeah, he, as you can imagine, was really, really happy with his time there, his play, the performance, and
that was the only game they lost.
Yeah.
Otherwise they drew and they beat Turkey. Yeah. Oh yeah, they beat Turkey. That's right. Okay, now this is news that I don't know if Michael wants to hear, but it's about Hope Solo. She has basically trashed the U.S. United bid, saying that she doesn't think Morocco should get it, but she definitely doesn't want the United group to get it.
Does she work for the BC provincial government?
No, I don't know. Maybe Chicago. No, but she was trying to, as everybody knows, she tried to become president of FIFA, U.S. Soccer, sorry, and she finished 5th out of 5 candidates. A funny thing is, Victor Montagliani was in an interview, and they asked him about this, and his response was that outside the U.S., he doesn't think that very many people even know who Hope Solo is.
Oh, probably not.
that was his response.
It's actually accurate. I really don't think they probably do. They probably think it's someone from Star Wars.
She just had a movie.
Yeah.
And then we talked about this earlier about that undercover sting. Ghana has been brought into this. They basically are being at risk of being suspended from the 2026 World Cup vote because on Thursday its government disbanded the FA.
Oh yeah,
based on that because of widespread corruption made in that undercover documentary. The allegations also implicated the federation president, who is a member of the FIFA Council.
Yeah,
and Ghana was supposedly voting for, I think it was Morocco, obviously. Yeah,
definitely 50-50.
It's well known that Ghana is much like an academy in the United States or Canada. It's pay to play, so they have considerable issues over there.
Now, one last thing: World Cup vote tracker. This is if we look at committed votes, it's 23-17 in favor of the United bid. If we count in the people that are leaning towards one side or the other, Morocco leads 26-24. 157 are uncommitted at this point.
Yeah, I've heard different numbers about that. I've heard some people say, yeah, the United is going to win or is favored to win or whatever. And I've heard other people say, no, right now it's more like if you count, let's say 60% of the votes based on assumed and declared, then it's more like Morocco's ahead by 20 votes.
Yeah.
But
you have to remember there's the third option now that's going to be on the ballot.
Neither.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from what I read today, if neither gets the most votes, they will put it out again, and neither America or Morocco, or our bid and Morocco, can reapply.
What about this is perfect. So if neither wins, then
we can go for 2030 and get to host it.
The province of BC could bid, and they could host all 48 teams.
Yes.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Or Baffin Island, just to give it a mention for the second show running. Because I went home and Googled to make sure it was in Canada.
Yeah. Good for you.
I just remember it from Tony Hancock in the 50s. Anyway, but yeah, it's kind of weird to think this time next week.
Oh yeah.
I'll be in my bed in Oregon, but you guys will be here discussing whether Canada is hosting a World Cup. That's exciting.
Can't wait.
Or enraging. Actually, it's going to be to me. It's a excuse me. It's as a British Columbian, as a Cascadian, it's a lose, or an upper Cascadian, Because if Canada wins, it's not in BC, and that's an atrocious thing. Like, that should not have happened. Especially when you consider, like, I've talked to people from the CSA, and they were like, look, what was asked for was the exact same thing that was asked for the Women's World Cup. And I know the governments have changed, but what was asked for has not changed.
But the thing is,
and when you look at what was done for the Women's World Cup, how did that go? That went fairly well.
Yeah. I just think that I don't know why they had to make a big deal of who the government was. The government changes. It's going to change by the time 2026 rolls around too. So I don't know why they had to commit now. They had to have a committed group. But that's another story for another day.
I'll be
we'll
honest,
talk about it next week.
There is a part of me that wants our bid not to get it because I'd like Vancouver to host. But we're not going to get it in 2030 because it looks like that's going to South America.
And 2034 we'll be all dead.
Yeah.
2034, yeah.
I'm not going to make it
I'm
that
not
far.
going to be AFT. Oh, let's see. AFTN will be what?
Unless I give up my milk, I'm not making it that far.
I'll be like, sitting down in the cushy seats or something because I'll be so old.
Yeah, I'll be saying
no standing.
Yeah, man. Oh, how old will I be?
Oh no!
I'll be like, welcome to the AFTN Soccer Show. Welcome to the AFTN Soccer Show.
No, yeah.
Welcome to the AFTN.
And so it's bad. Canada gets it. It's not in BC, which is a travesty. And Canada doesn't get it, and then the rest of Canadians don't. Or it's not. The short distance of travel for us is gone. So it feels like a lose-lose. I know that's selfish.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And like next week is our World Cup special. It would be good if the United bid is successful because I talked to Effie Juarez about what it would mean to Mexico to host another World Cup. So that's going to be sad listening to that next week if that doesn't take part. But
we'll make sure to mention that it was recorded before the vote.
Yeah. But Steve and Zach will be here next week. We've got some good stuff coming up. You're going to hear from some players that are at the World Cup, not just Whitecaps guys, but some other guys from MLS as well. Some players that have played at the World Cup. And some players that are going to just be watching the World Cup.
Steve, did you tell me we might bring guests?
Might, yes.
Okay.
Oh.
We don't know yet.
Excellent.
We're working on it.
Look forward to that. But anyway, that is it for this week's show. Thank you so much for listening. We have overrun once again. We'll cut out all the crap.
So there won't be much left.
We'll be a 30-minute show. But just before we go, let everyone know where they can find you online.
You can find me on Twitter at WhitecapsBeat.
For me, it's at Zachary AM, and I'm a part of the movement Curva Collective.
You can find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada. You can find me down the Oregon coast with my feet up, enjoying the beach with my 14-year-old faithful companion. I'm taking my dog.
It's a dog. I wasn't sure if
you're taking your wife too, right?
Yeah, she's going as well. You can read our stuff away from the numbers, aftn.ca. And we're going to have our latest extra podcast coming out this week.
It's a cracker.
It's another World Cup special. It's our preview show. Just before we get to our theme song, Zach's got one more thing he wants to say.
Yeah, if you want to watch the World Cup match this Saturday, Croatia versus Nigeria, it's a 12 o'clock kickoff, but the gathering will be at 11:30, and it's for if you just want to come watch the game, you're welcome to just come watch the game. But also for those who are interested in the next phase of trying to bring the Canadian Premier League to the Fraser Valley, we'd love for you to come and hang out. And so that'll be at the Central City Brewing Pub in Surrey. You can check Facebook and Twitter for details for that.
That's the problem with these short shows. We just don't have time to cover all this stuff. Anyway, so until next week, thanks for listening. Take care and mon the Caps.
Going to your first match is an experience you never forget. The atmosphere of what's going on around the pitch looks beautiful, and you always look and go, wow, I'd love to play here one day. If you get the bug, it's going to stay with you for life.
More than a name, that's what we came for.
Et